Good evening. My name is Brendan Tugger, and I'm a product manager at Protected Seas. And I lead a project there called Marine Monitor, or M2. Um, and I guess kind of why I'm here today is to kind of tell you about our experience over the last 4 years developing this product and how a small interdisciplinary team of dedicated conservationists have developed a tool that we think is useful for better monitoring marine protected areas, or MPAs. In general, I guess my ask right up front would be collaboration, partnerships, people that are interested in potentially using technologies for ocean conservation, specifically this tool, and how they might be able to participate in what we're doing. The challenge that my team set out to overcome in 2015 was to build a better tool for monitoring and enforcing regulations in and around marine protected areas. This was and is an issue because the number of MPAs are increasing each year, and by the nature of these areas, they're difficult to monitor because they're in remote locations and they have limited resources to ensure regulations are followed. Furthermore, these areas are challenging to monitor and protect because the vast majority of people fishing in these areas are small-scale subsistence fishermen. They use small boats. They aren't required to have any sensors on board, and so largely their activities go unnoticed. To solve this challenge, we looked at a number of different technologies that exist today, and we landed on commercial recreational radar systems as the ideal tool for what we want to do because they operate at 24/7, they operate in all weather conditions, and they monitor and collect data on everything that's on the water, regardless if a sensor is on board the vessel or not. So with radar technology, we set out to bring military scale tech to marine conservation at a significantly reduced cost. In 2015, we ran an initial test and proof of concept here in San Francisco, in the San Francisco Bay in Redwood City, basically to prove if radars would work for conservation or not. We built our first system for less than $10,000 and proved that, in fact, it could be done at a low cost. Once we proved the hardware could work, we set out to build our own software, specifically to store and visualize the radar data that was integrated with the radar hardware, and we called our solution Marine Monitor, or M2. M2 incorporates a custom-built browser-based software with off-the-shelf recreational radar systems to keep costs low. Again, it monitors everything on the water, regardless if the vessel has sensors on board or not. It's easy to be used, so you can have a limited educational background to utilize the technology, and there's no specialized training required. And it's 100% autonomous. It monitors vessels all the time, 24/7, 365. And doesn't require a manager or someone to be on site to collect data about the presence of these vessels in and around the MPAs. Over the last 4 years, we've continuously iterated our initial software design. Shown here is our first version in 2015 and our existing software today. Aside from improvements to the user interface, we've also added numerous different features based on user feedback to make the system a little more intelligent and easier to use and more informative. Of note, this year we started using machine learning by tapping into newly available cloud service tools such as Amazon SageMaker. Again, that would be another ask we might have someone that is interested in machine learning or has experience in machine learning and could potentially utilize our system to make the system that much more intelligent and informative. Similar to the software, we've also iterated on our hardware design over the last 4 years. As we started to install these systems throughout the world, we realized that our biggest limiting factor was actually power. So to solve that issue, we integrated the M2 software system with a mobile off-grid power system. And we called that the mobile Marine Monitor, or M3. Shown here is the picture of an M3 that we are now deploying in several locations throughout the world. The system is transported via a lightweight pickup truck, but also can be transported via boat or even a helicopter to remote island locations. So today, we've proved that radar technology can be a useful tool for marine conservation, and it can be done at a low cost. We know we can deploy these systems anywhere in the world for less than $100,000, which is at least 10x what the traditional military systems cost. We've deployed in 15 locations in 7 countries, and we have 5 deployments on the pipeline for 2020 already. We have 100 unique users, which sounds like a small amount, but right now there's no one using technology to monitor these areas, so any number is actually a success in some sense. But these users are from government agencies or from law enforcement agencies, nonprofits, and academia that are using this data to better inform decision making. Our system is able to monitor up to 100 square miles of marine environment, which improves marine ecosystem health, improves livelihoods, and encourages alternative livelihoods, specifically through ecotourism and aquaculture. So while we have a small team, we only have 3 full-time dedicated employees. We've actually made a pretty significant impact over the last 4 years, primarily because we're multidisciplinary, we're experienced, and we're dedicated conservation technologists, and we're resourceful. We wear many hats and are willing to take on any task necessary to succeed in what we're doing. We've also tapped into a large network that we've cultivated over the last 4 years, which has enabled us to leverage expertise, guidance, funding opportunities, and resources that we don't have in-house. Without this network, we wouldn't certainly not be where we're at today. So I guess with that, thank you very much for listening about M2 and a brief story about where we are and how we got here today. If there's any interest in working with us, partnering with us, collaborating with us, please find me after the talks. We're always looking for new partners, but also new locations that could benefit from this technology so that we can get it more widely deployed. Thank you.